worries. Okay, I'm happy to see you that you returned. How are you? How are you feeling?
Very doing fine. How about you?
I'm excellent. A little bit exhausted because of the strikes that we have today, but anyway, I will survive. I did
Mhm.
survive, so
Yes.
yeah, it was very annoying today for the traffic.
Mm, yes, it's understandable that
And
it's
I don't know if it happens there too, but here it was like the problem here is like it collapses the main principal areas to transport, so everybody explodes.
yes, they collapse here too. For example, if it occurs an accident or something, it collapses and even the motorcycles go on the sidewalk and someone else is walking and they just stare at you like, what are you doing here? Where are you trespassing?
Yeah, the only ones who could like cross by were like the motorcycles. The rest it was
Yes,
impossible.
but I hate it. I hate it when there's a lot of traffic because people start honking their cars. Like, is like going to fix something, like solve anything? And I think it's just stupid.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like noise contamination, you know? It's like
because I know you're stressed, but no need to point it out.
I
I
mean we can see it.
we can see it, but don't honk your car so many times.
Yeah, it's annoying when there is a lot of noise. In this case, there was no noise, but there was no cars. There was nothing. I mean, it was almost empty. So basically, everybody's is get off the Transmilenio stations, and they have to walk home. So luckily, I live closer from my job, but the other people who live very far, that is another story.
Yes, it's another story. It's like stressing. I understand that. I
Yeah,
really
it's not easy.
decide and take the bus or something because I don't have to go anywhere, maybe. But the times I go at the bus is so well, early in the morning is not so bad, but it starts to get like noisy during midday or afternoon.
Yeah, yeah. Here in Bogota, it's collapsed like very. If it's very early, it's very crowded, and it's like 6 p.m. It's very crowded too. So well, it depends. These are like the biggest hours that you can find that are very collapsing. But well, yes, you were saying. Luckily, I don't have to go out that much. But when I do, it's like, oh no, yeah. I prefer
Yes,
to stay at home.
yes,
So that's something that happens commonly. Okay, well, I'm happy that you're back. Um, I hope that you we able to watch like some of the videos. If you haven't, no worries. We're going to start with one topic that we have here. This is called. I'm going to share it to you. It's called truth or conspiracy. That is the topic of this week.
uh-huh.
Truth or what do you think? When I tell you this word, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Um, wait, I can't see. Okay, I see it now.
Okay, great.
What did you ask?
Mhm. Judging by the title, that is truth or conspiracy, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you read this? What do you think it's going to be the lesson about?
Maybe political arrangements. Like
Political arrangements.
when they tell something about politics or the government, they hiding something. It's like a conspiracy, or it could be true. That's what I think of when those two
Oh,
words.
okay, like the government, this. Yeah, it sounds like people is crazy, but you're going to see. Okay, great. So this is more like the common things that we have from a conspiracy. This is like very common theory that we have of conspiracy theories. So, do you know some of this? Have you heard about one of these before?
Mm, a few, but the moon landing was fake. I heard about that a lot.
Okay, and what do you think? Do you think that is fake or is it true?
I don't really know. I seen it and they have like the theory of that. Maybe maybe it was fake, but I don't think it was fake. I mean, it's already possible. Like I don't know how did
Yeah, nowadays it's not so. I mean, if I tell you today, like, people went to moon, you're like, oh, okay, you believe it. But before, I don't know how much it will be believable.
yes, I don't know how much it will be.
Okay, so that one half half. I mean, 50-50. Okay, this one, Hitler survived and arrived to Argentina. What do you say about this one?
Oh, I heard about that a lot. They talk about that a lot. That he even arrived to Colombia. He even
Tunja.
arrived to yes. They even said he even arrived to Tunja. I was I was surprised. I was like flabbergasted because how is that even possible? How did how did he end up there? And they
It,
say that he was hiding or something, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. But I think it could be possible because in Bogota, many Germans arrived there like a long time ago, even here at
Mhm.
my city, Germans and Italians.
So you actually, I mean, do you think there is a big chance that he didn't die like in the bunker, but actually he survived and moved, right?
It could be, you know, how the government can mix up things and confuse the others and let them believe that he killed himself.
Okay, could be. It would be funny though if he were in Tunja because I mean, now I understand the mustache thing in Tunja that there was like a brand fashion thing. So
Yes,
I mean,
yes, like
it
that.
could be an option. This one, the government controls the weather.
Mm, well, it could be also. It could be true because I heard once they were working on like making up a device to control the weather. I know it's going to turn out pretty badly because if they created the COVID-19, then I think it's possible they could also control the weather.
But what I have heard, I haven't heard this one. I mean, honestly, when I was looking for it, this one was surprised because I didn't hear about this. But I do know that it exists something like a machine or something like that, that it was created to like to create. I don't know how it works. I mean, I'm apologizing for my lack of knowledge in this area,
Yes.
but it's something that you put some certain energy to the sky so you can charge like the clouds and you can start like make them rain. That's what I heard. But
Oh, let
this
me
has
charge the
obviously.
clouds like an iPhone and start ringing. Yes, that's what I've heard. That's what I heard
Mhm.
from that device about making clouds. It's like, hold on, let me charge this cloud.
Yeah, it's like because in Bogota we had some problems with water. We were like a shortage of water, so uh,
Yes.
yeah, somebody, I don't know, I heard it in an interview or something, that they were asking like it exists this device so they can charge clouds, that they make her so chargeable that they start rain like, by physics. I don't know how it works.
Yes, that tip one I consider is true.
That's the only thing that I have heard. Now, I don't
Yes.
know if this is. I don't think so that it works for heat, but I don't know. Maybe for raining it does. Obviously, this will have terrible effects because if you
Yes.
have to force a cloud to make it
Yes,
cry,
you can't just interrupt the cycle of the weather. You can't just force it.
yeah, it's not something that easy. But that's what I have heard. But I'm not sure if you can like control the rest.
It
If
could
that were in my
it
power.
it it could work for some places, some areas that they desperately need some water. It could be.
Yeah, well, I think that it's a good reason why we haven't used it. So let's keep it with that way. Okay, this one was very famous during the pandemic. Vaccines contain microchips.
No, no, that's completely false. That's just a conspiracy that adults made because they didn't want the vaccine. That's all. They were just weak-minded and everything. And even my mother believed it. And then
Oh,
yeah, she believed it. And I said, that's a complete lie. What are you watching? You're watching on the internet. You're like feeding on garbage or something. And she said, no, but it's true. And how can a chip go inside our body? How can be that possible?
yeah,
How is
my
it
my
possible?
my uncle, my aunt, some of her the family of her husband were saying that they had some microchips, and she was like, "Oh, really? So you're that interesting that the government wants to know what you do? I mean, you, a regular person who has a regular job, the government wants to control you through a microchip? I mean."
Yes. How about they be interested in you? You're
Yeah, and even people put some magnets on the skin to see if probably it got like stuck. I don't know. So probably it was, I mean, and this is the last one that I found. I bet there is more that this one that like the most interesting that I found. The hidden gold of El Dorado still exists.
I have heard of that even from the movie El Dorado, the Road to El Dorado.
Uh-huh.
I have heard from that. Mm, but it's like I think it could be, but they are doing so many research on something that is very, very ancient, very old, like trying to find how is it called? The crown of Jesus,
The cup.
the cup. Yes, the cup. Trying to find the chalice of Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why are you looking for an ancient object to prove the existence of something that we don't know if it exists? And it's like I don't say I hate the church or I hate the religion. I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
Before
okay.
they start throwing rocks at me. Um I'm excusing myself, but
Yeah, it's just like
the
it's yeah.
the
Because
hidden
if they say that if you drunk from this, then you will become immortal,
yes, but
something
that's
like that.
just I just made up who
Yeah,
what
I mean,
status are you reading?
yeah, it's not only like you need to find the cup, you need to drink from that cup. So yeah, I mean, it's that is the topic of today, the conspiracy. That is not only one thing, but is if you find this and you do this, then you have another like big situation. So yeah, basically that's why I was telling you like these conspiracy things, like they work very, very weirdly.
Instead of worrying for humanity, they just think about ancient things. Cool. So about the hidden gold of El Dorado, I think it still exists, but it like will take so much time to find it. And why bother? Why are you bothering for that? You're like sticking up to the past, trying to prove that something exists and you don't even know. Maybe it was just a tale that they wrote many years ago, and then they find it and they say, "Oh my God, did it existed?" No, you don't. It only exists in fictional media, but it's not
No,
confirmed
and
yet.
with today's technology, it will be very simple to find it, don't you think?
It will be, but they haven't. Now that I think
That's
of it,
my
I
point.
think I think it's fake. I think it's fake.
Okay, now that
I
you consider better, it's fake. Okay.
yes.
Okay, so we're going to watch this video. This one is called How to Spot a Conspiracy Theory. So probably they will give us a hint if the previous theories that we just watched were actually real or not that realistic. Okay, so
Hey.
we're going to watch it. Let me know if you can hear, but I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Can you read? Can
No,
you?
no, I can't.
No. Okay, okay. So I'm going to reshare it because it's not possible. It always happens the same. Okay. You let me know again. Uh,
Oh, oh, that kind of.
Yes, I
yeah.
can hear it now. Yes.
Okay, great. So we're going to see how can we spot it.
Roswell, Bigfoots. Oh, oh, that kind of thing. Okay, shape-shifting lizards. Interesting.
Conspiracy theories do require a wild, imaginative leap.
I think we can explain it in a scientific way, so why do we believe some more ridiculous way?
Yes, and of course they spread much more readily now with the advent of social media.
Who can you trust?
The term conspiracy theory refers to explanations according to which events in the world are caused by an evil plan plotted in secret by a small group of powerful individuals.
Some decades ago, there was this tendency to conceive conspiracy beliefs as pathological, but psychologists have shifted this. They nowadays believe normal functions of our mind explains why people believe in conspiracy theories.
The defining features of the conspiracy theory are the conspirator, the conspiratorial plan, the sinister plan that they're trying to bring about, and the means of mass manipulation by which the conspirator is keeping the plan secret. Sometimes the conspirator will be defined in terms of a concrete body with an identifiable membership. The Illuminati or the Freemasons, Jews, more recently on things like the Bilderberg Group, Skull and Bone Society, and various other secret societies. However, very often the conspirator will be defined in much vaguer terms. The big pharma, the military-industrial complex, global elites, and so on. So they're always balancing between the need to define the enemy and the need to accept that the enemy is always going to be shady, secret, and so on. Conspiracy theorists will often argue that if you destroy a group of powerful people in the world, you will not destroy the conspiracy because the plan is the key thing. Very often that plan is going to involve world domination. But if one looks at the level of cover-up that will be required in order to keep all these things secret, it necessitates having somebody who is actually in control of everything. Much of the conspiracist writing will involve trying to analyze what strategies and what power the conspirators have to keep their sinister plan or their identity hidden. Very often the manipulation comes from the plausible, things like science, government, media ownership, to the ludicrous. Paranormal manipulation, use of occult powers, manipulation of brain waves.
Conspiracy believers, I think they genuinely believe in the theories and they really strive for the truth. It may seem naive, but there is this human tendency to underestimate the role that chance alone can play in events that occur.
This belief that the world is ultimately controllable, and that is a very kind of powerful driver of conspiracy beliefs in moments of crisis where there is almost like a vacuum in explanation.
We see this more social function of conspiracy beliefs and the fact that people believe in them or not as being part of their social identity.
The stereotype is that they are in their cellar on the internet looking for the most recent conspiracy theory. But most people are neither believers nor skeptics, but fall somewhere in the middle. And for me, the key question is not what differentiates the hard believers from the hard skeptics, but how do we interpret that section of the population in the middle?
Conspiracy theories can be dangerous for society. People who believe that vaccines cause autism and avoid vaccinating their children put them in danger. A thorough thinking person could debunk one argument at a time, but could not debunk all their arguments.
Sinister conspiracy theories like the anti-Semitic conspiracy theories of the early 20th century, or if you talk outlandish in terms of David Icke's alien lizards, the fundamental error is always the same. They're all based on the fundamentally flawed assumption about how the world works. And I think that if one makes people more aware of what conspiracy theories are, it enables them, when they see a conspiracy theory, to see it for what it is.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.
There
Don't
was
forget
like
to subscribe.
video. Do you recognize some these conspiracy theories that do you recognize some of them? Because they in the images we
Yeah,
can see some of them. Do you recognize some?
yeah, they always talk about the Illuminati and how I remember like in 2010 or 2013, they always mention it like, oh, the Illuminati, look at here in this dollar, the Illuminati, he's watching over us and something else. I I always said, You're tripping. You're tripping so much. Why
And
would you
there was
believe that?"
another one like the reptiles. Have you heard about that one?
Reptilians. Yeah,
Yeah.
reptilians. They said, oh, Queen Elizabeth is very old. She's not never dying. Well, she died like 2 years ago. So I think that's conspiracy is cut it out because why? Why would you think that someone might be a reptilian? I have never seen their tongue or when they like mixed up the media and sometimes it happens about the reptilians. They have spotted them. They swore they saw them blinking and well that their pupils dilated into slits like cats.
Yeah.
And it's like, where are you?
And the color, that they
Yes,
become like yellowish, probably. So
yes, and it's like, oh come on, it's just a television, it's just a video. Why are you believing those things? Because it's like, why are you worrying about that? They're not even noticing you or something else. And they also say, but we're being victims of control. Everyone is on control, don't believe me or not. But
yeah, and this is like something that they mentioned in the video that like basically how can you spot them? And it's because you always have to blame somebody, like this happens and it happens because in the case that you were mentioning, the government wants to control us because somebody has to be like the one who assumes blame.
yes, I always heard about those conspiracy theories, but what do you even know about what's behind all of this? Nobody knows. And the ones they know, they say, oh, they just disappear. Oh, and also about the pills, the pharmaceutics. I
Ah,
believe that's true because they always say, well, we're researching for the cure for cancer. It has been solved so many times, but the pharmaceutic never brings it up. And they say, oh, yes, yeah, but this doctor just died because he tripped, he died, or she died because a coma or something. That's not believable. You're just I know because that conspiracy is real. Because if they cure any illness and even the cure for cancer, we'll know that if the pharmaceutics will fall down. The that how to explain it. If they find
okay,
it,
but that's something that you actually believe that actually these kind of cures for cancer
yes,
they've already
they
been
can
discovered.
yes, they're already done, they already exist, but they don't want the people to know about that. They want them still to believe that cancer is something you cannot cure, but it's actually real. You can cure cancer, but they don't want to pull out the cure
Sure.
because they know they will lose money, they will lose credibility and everything.
Yeah, and cancer, unfortunately, for most of people who suffer from this or has relative who has suffered from this is a very, very expensive disease.
Yes,
And
it's
it's not
very
only that, it's,
expensive.
it's like it's like the person who is suffering that is very, very hard.
Yes, and they like telling to a person who suffers from that, from cancer, telling them, "Oh yes, we're working on the vaccine, we're working on the cure." When? When? They always say that like 30 years, 40 years ago, I suppose. They always say, "Oh, we're trying to find a cure for the cancer." It cannot take that long.
And because of today we have many technological advancements, so
Yes, but
somehow it looks like it's impossible, right?
yes, but I say it's possible. It already is. But they just don't want to lose money. That's it. That's what keeps the pharmaceutics growing. It's
Okay, so for
expensive.
you that will be is a conspiracy theory, the fact that they are hiding the truth. Yeah,
Yes,
about this.
I consider that's conspiracy true. I
Oh,
consider that true. That
okay, okay.
yes,
So it's not conspiracy, it's the truth.
it's the truth that it's still conspiracy for some people, but for others who know what's behind all of that, we know it's true.
Yeah, and I do agree on that. Actually, I believe that it's this, if we are very close. I mean, it's impossible that after all this time with all this technology, it'd be impossible for you to not finding even a single lead. I mean, yeah,
Yes,
yeah, I do believe in that. What are the, like, well, we already discussed about this one, about this.
yes.
What do you think will be the relationship that they mentioned between the internet and these conspiracy theories? What do you think will be like the link that they have?
Because they have a lot of information. Internet is like a source for every conspiracy theory. You can just Google it and will appear a video of 1 hour, 2 hours explaining something. And yes, it has a lot of relation. Like it, yes.
Do you think that somehow the fact that we have access to internet faster and easier has created that people have more conspiracy theories than before, or you don't think that is not connected?
Well, before the internet, there were some people who had those conspiracy theories, and they will publish it maybe in journals or every or something else, or maybe just put a letter under your doorstep on your doorstep.
Mm-hmm.
But with the internet, conspiracy theories grew more. Even for the ones who had those conspiracy theories and they're now dead, mm, they pass that through the internet, and other people seeming become interested on that topic, and they talk about it more. And it's so easy to find that topic in the internet, because if you're like trying to find something to listen to while you're doing something else, you might encounter yourself with that type of videos, and one day you'll just become like interested and even obsessed with that theory, conspiracy.
Yeah, and the fact that you have, for example, you're going to look for something and you go to Wikipedia, which is a place where you can edit, you can change. So it's very likely that you find false information plus the conspiracy theory. So boom, I mean, it explodes.
Yes.
What do you think we should know when we see a conspiracy theory online? What should we take into account for this?
What we should know. We should just like check out the conspiracy theory if it makes sense, if it's logical, because sometimes people make up the dumbest, stupidest things, conspiracies, theories ever in the internet. And some people believe it. I don't know how they believe it, but you have to make sure that the information maybe it's believable, it makes sense. If it makes sense. And if it makes sense, maybe you'll start wondering about your life.
Yeah, I've heard one. Well, I have heard one. No, it's just like a lot of people have created an anti-vaccine movement that it was like they was mentioned in the video too. That many people somehow believed that vaccines were not important, so they didn't vaccinate their children. So in long term, this affect the kid and everything, because the main reason that they did is that the vaccines like apparently created like autism, like enhanced the autism in children. So
Mm.
yeah, that was the reality. I don't know. I have heard that. Well, I don't think that it happens because I mean, how many autism kids are without the vaccine? So
Yes.
it doesn't sound plausible. What might make people believe conspiracy theories? In the video they were mentioning, like why these people feel like attached to it. What do you think that?
Mm. Maybe because we toy with their innocence. We want them to open their eyes and see through everything, and somehow make them anxious about uh, what is true and what is fake. So they toy with their thoughts, they toy with their emotions, maybe. Because I think so, because if you hear a conspiracy theory and if you start like connecting dots, solving puzzles in your mind, it starts to click in and then you'll feel more like alert, like more awakened, and you start to become anxious or everything. Like you just gain consciousness for
So
a
from your
moment.
perspective, people become more like attached or and appealing to something that they actually don't know, or
Yes.
it's because it's like the heat, like ooh, I don't
But
know how to explain
yes,
it.
that's also like the mass, like, oh,
Yeah.
this group of people are they're like sharing a conspiracy theory. Might as well join them too, because that's what we humans do. We are very social, so we want to make part of a group.
Okay, okay. So you want to be part of something, so you're like, I feel connected. I feel that this
Yes,
is true.
yeah, that's manipulation, but actually that's very normal. It's very common. Like you just need to socialize and everything, and you join a group, and they start talking stupid things or maybe true, and then you start to agree with them and say, yes, I think the same. I think the same.
Yeah, it's just for being part of it.
Yes,
Uh, why do you think that it's impossible? I mean, we already discussed about some that you say like, no, this is no way. Why is it possible that we find that some of these fake news must be from these theories must be fake?
because of how stupid they sound.
I mean, why cannot believe that all of them are real? It's because some of them
And because
are stupid.
you cannot believe everything they tell you. You cannot do that. You don't have the time to if you live in like a lot of um
Yeah, it's just, I'm sorry, it's just I
y-
love the way they say because they're stupid. So yeah, you got
but
the a very good answer.
because some theories might make sense, but some others are like, ooh, what type of drugs did you took? I want some too. What type of I don't
There
know.
is one that say that the Earth is flat. Still
Oh, that
nowadays,
that one is so I
the
hate
flat
that
earthers, yeah.
theory. I
And
hate
there
that.
is a group of people who, I mean, they have like a
Yes,
society of flat
yes,
earthers, so they're
but
like, yes.
they believe it. It's like, come on. We have seen the Earth in that small camera from the NASA. How can you say that?
But it's still nowadays. I mean, you will say, okay, like I don't know, like in the 15th century will be okay. We don't have many advances, but today,
But today we have so
people-
many advances. We have the proof, and they just still say, no, it's flat. Flat. Flat like my butt, I guess.
yeah, and I think that we already answered this question that it was what can be true. And this one too, that what happens if people spread false information? Obviously, we already discussed about it long,
Yes.
what will happen on this. Okay, so I'm going to skip some of these things. Because this is more like the grammar, but this is for just discussion. Uh, what we're going to do is like I'm going to give you like a set of situations. What I want that you do is um that you tell me like what could happen in this case. Yeah,
Okay.
we are like giving some guesses. So based on the case that we have here, the ideas that you gave me some of these possible cases that what might happen. Okay, so this is the first one, the missing scientist. A well-known scientist left his lab in 2002 and was never seen again. His notebooks were empty. What do you think might happen there?
They kidnapped him. Oh my God. They took him.
And the notes?
The notes, they might just like, I think if they notebooks empty. How can they be empty? Maybe they
That's
look.
the point. If you work in a lab like a long time ago, if you're a scientist, it's impossible. Well, there is no rule, yeah, but if you work on something, it is evident that you should have like certain documents or
Like
papers.
there are two ways that it could be that his notebooks were empty. Maybe
Mhm.
someone got inside the lab and changed the notebook to a similar one, but like clean, empty. But it can't be because the notebook had to be worn out or something. The other thing, it might be he just bought a new notebook and left the other one back at home. But it can't be possible because about his family, they will say, "Oh no, he left his notebook here." So it's like confusing.
But the first guess that you will say is like he might be kidnapped
He might got kidnapped, maybe.
with all his information.
Yes, and they changed the notebooks and took the real ones to hide them far away.
Okay, now you start sounding as a conspiracy conspiracy theory.
I think they just
Okay.
took the notebook and changed it to a similar one, like maybe new and clean, blank, empty, and they took the original one away.
Yeah, if you ask me, I was thinking more that the fact that the notebooks were empty would prove that maybe they did a switch.
Yes,
So the cover was maybe they can try to use that book, like turn it off or open it, close it to looks like it has been moved or something.
yes.
Okay, this is another one, the lost files. A reporter was looking into a secret project. 2 days later, all her files were gone.
Well, the reporter didn't suffer anything, but the files were gone. So it could maybe someone took the files. It could be. Maybe they were writing something that it could threaten any I don't know, maybe government or something. And they knew it and they decided to take those files. And even if they were in her computer maybe or well, their computer, even if it were in their computer, I think they will also like hack their PC or like erase those files.
Yeah, I think that will be more logical because nowadays it's very easy that you go into somebody else's information, like go through it, like hacking. Yeah, I'm not saying that I know how to do it because I hardly turn on the computer. I mean, I don't do much with it, but there are some trained people who actually know how to do it, hackers. So that will be a more logical explanation, right?
Yes.
This is another one, alien message. Oh, I forgot. I was about to ask you. Do you think that is it possible that we have aliens? That aliens
No.
exist? No?
I don't think so. Oh, I like bacteria because it's like, oh, aliens are real. No, I think it's fictional.
It's fictional. So
I
it's not
think it's just
possible that
fictional.
somebody from another planet comes by. No.
Yes, I think like someone tried to draw a human and they looking at like an alien. I said, "Oh my God, what is this? This is so weird. How did you do that?" And they start believing they saw an alien. Or maybe it was just your mind tricking you into something else.
Because what they mention, and this is like another theory that they have, is like the pyramids were constructed by aliens.
Oh no, that's
Yeah,
not
they say that. You haven't heard
I
about that one?
yes, they always talk
Oh,
about
okay.
that in school, and I say, no, no, you idiot. The Egyptians with like
They,
with strength
yeah,
and
and also with
everything.
the Mexicans. I mean, it's not only like in Egypt, but in Mexico too that they were saying that it was built by.
Yes, but actually they just use like some machines, but not machines like we know nowadays.
Of course.
Like manual work, manual machines to like transport the blocks to make the pyramid. I think they use that manual like manual machine
But
to really,
not alien machines.
but no alien machines. Why? Like, why will they even care to make that? Why do they even bother?
And it's funny because there is like somebody like I don't know, I don't remember her name, but there was a girl from here that said that she could talk to aliens.
Oh yes, that also is fake. People
Yeah,
believe
yeah. And
it and they
when I
see
heard that, I'm like,
movies.
oh no. I mean, if I hardly believed that it was true after hearing her, I said like, you know what? Thank you. You destroyed my conspiracy theory. Okay, this is like the alien message. Space radio got a signal with repeating numbers. Then they stopped. NASA said it was just a mistake.
Hmm. Maybe it could be how is that called? How is that called? The messages with
Like
sound?
a coding
Oh,
message, or
coding, like a code. It could be a code or um, I don't know how they call this one. Morse code. It could be
um,
similar to a
like
Morse code.
that one.
Yes, it could
Mm.
be similar to a Morse code, and that it stopped and said it was just a mistake. Are you sure? Are you sure it was a mistake?
That is the conspiracy. I mean, it's like when people, for example, I've heard that they were trying to research something about the ocean, and there was like a very weird sound there, and they said that it was whales, but it didn't sound as a whale. It sounded like somebody else. But I mean, I think that something like that, that you try to cover it with other things.
Yes.
This is another one, but this is similar to the the triangle. I forgot Bermuda Triangle. This is similar. A hidden island. A plane was seen flying to an island not shown on any map. No passengers were on the list.
No passengers. Well, I've heard about that. I don't. It's like
The flight?
maybe it's about the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah,
The
it sounds
Bermuda,
like it.
but because they say that that island cannot they cannot look out for something. But I think that conspiracy might be true because we like you said it. We have the technology to go and research on that island. And some others say that that Iceland has like savage people that they live
Mhm.
there. And they cannot go any closer because they cannot get closer to that island because maybe they will start like throwing how bows are you?
Oh, but I heard about that one, that the son of a very important person, I don't remember who, I mean, there is something, he disappeared, and they said that it was because he was in an island with savages, and they eat him.
Yes, they ate him. I heard of that too. And that is true. That is true.
They ate him. Oh my gosh.
It is. It is true. It is true.
But I don't know who was. It was very famous bird. It was a very rich man, but I don't remember it's his name.
Yes, he was very rich and he wanted to make like a document about that, but they ate him.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, and it's funny because there is like a picture of him with the locals, and it
Yes.
was one with smiling, like very very scary thing, and then he disappeared.
Yes, of course, it has appeared. And the question is how they know they ate him.
That
How
that
did
that was my point. I mean, people said that, but there is no actual evidence that they have eaten it. I don't know if they found them clothes or something, but that's what they say, that these cannibals eat them.
but I think they like left that like a conspiracy theory because if they say it was true, it will scare people. Like, whoa, whoa. Are you saying that there's an island full of cannibals?
Okay, so that you think that they keep it as a theory because they didn't want to affect that people go there,
I
isn't it?
think so. Yes, I think so.
But anyway, if they told me, oh, on this island they eat people, I wouldn't be like, oh, really? Let's check. Of course not. I mean,
Of course not, but people will be like scared, like why do we have that type of people here? I
yeah,
I
it doesn't
I know
it doesn't
they're
make sense.
savages. I know they're not updated on the daily life of us, but at the same time, it's like something very confusing, and maybe I think it might be also a project from the government. I just thought of that. Maybe
I don't know. That's why we have this session of
like
conspiracy.
what if they sent grown like younger people to that island with no food, no supplies, everything without anything, and they had to survive on their own, and they made up their own language, their own traditions, and
So you're saying
maybe
basically that the island was created? Like they actually
no,
created.
I'm saying the island was not created. I'm saying that maybe they put like a project on how
Mm,
humans will behave without the use of technology or anything like that. But I think that's very stupid theory. How can they put like human beings there without anything?
and you have to invent a lot. I mean, if you are going to keep people there, I mean, you have to know what kind of people you're going to put. I mean, it will be a very huge research project,
Yes,
and you have to monitor it a lot. I mean, you have to pay a lot of attention. So I don't know
yes.
if that's going to be like easy to catch or not, but okay. And this is the other one, the night sounds. People in a small town heard odd cries one night. The police said it was nothing. This one, it sounds like Llorona, you know, it sounds something
Yes, but actually that could be
like.
answered like really first, well, the or grandparents or great grandfathers, they will always tell you the tales about, oh, La Llorona, oh, La Patasola. I saw her. I saw El Patetarro. I saw El Hombre Caimán. And yeah, everything like that. Odd cries at night. Actually, that's just like paranormal activities. And I think
Okay,
it's possible. Yes, it is possible. Because
so you believe that ghost might exist?
yes, because I experienced it myself so many
Oh,
times. So many times. Even like when I was staying in a small town, I was about to go to sleep. Then I heard the cackle, like the sound of a horse galloping. And I
okay.
just like stood out. I wanted to open the window. It was like a wooden window. I wanted to open it, but I couldn't open it. And I knew that window was easy to open. Then why is not opening? And I wanted to see if there was a horse. And when the sounds of the galloping faded away, I finally opened the window like it was nothing. And I went outside and I checked like what happened. And I went to check and I didn't saw anything.
I mean, lucky you that you go out. I mean, if I were you, I wouldn't have gone out at all.
And I talk about that the next day, and suddenly a lot of people from the town they told me the same. Yes, I've heard that horse. I always hear that the galloping of the horse at midnight or early night. I hear it. So I think the those odd sounds, odd cries, I think it's possible.
It's possible that it was like a
Paranormal
ghost.
activities like really happen. They really happen, I know.
Ooh. Okay, okay. This is the last one. Many people saw a black helicopter flying low at night. It had no marks or lights. The army said no helicopters were flying there.
Oh, I heard of that too. A TikToker like went through that and then disappeared.
Oh, what do you mean? Like the TikToker or the helicopter?
About the dark helicopter is like is similar to that to what happened to that TikToker, a
Mm-hmm.
man who was maybe he was in Alaska, I guess, but he was filming how a black helicopter was flying low, like
Mm-hmm.
near evening, near afternoon, and he filmed it, and
Mm-hmm.
and then like he saw like a creature that was big, tall, and he said that is no human, that is no human. It can't be possible that a human is so tall like that. and he always saw the helicopter and he filmed it, and he gained like a lot of audience, like saying, "What is that? What is that thing? Why is a helicopter flying low at night? A black helicopter." And then one night, he went to that same place to film, and then police, like the army, appeared, and they told him, "You can't film here."
Oh, jeez.
So it was real. So I think that last conspiracy, it could be true. It
It's
happened.
just that what I have heard is now, you know, that what most countries invest the most, it's about army equipment, it's about
Yes.
war, or it's a big
Yes.
investment. So what I have heard basically, it's like the army, they start developing helicopters or planes that they are silent, you know, that you cannot even hear them.
Yes,
With
of
all
course.
this development on drones, which are smaller, I have heard that they have like bigger planes or aircraft that are very difficult to notice. So that's something that they
Yes.
have been working
Yeah.
on.
And that TikToker noticed it, and when the army interrupted him and say, "You cannot film here," he posted a video like the next week saying he was sorry, that everything was fake and made up. But people didn't believe it. They say no, he's being forced to say that.
So he
And
was like threatened.
yes, he was like when and the last video of him was like the army again, like talking with him seriously, like they will telling him, "You can't do this, you can't film that." And then it has been like 3 years since they knew about him.
Oh, so he disappeared.
He disappeared, but nobody knows where is he. Not even his relatives know. Not even
Oh,
his family. So
that's bad.
a lot of people say, I think they killed him. Maybe
It's a
they
life thing.
like they silenced him. He was like showing people a lot of things. They didn't have
Oh,
to.
but this is not, it wasn't like the first time that this person shared things. It was like that he used
Yes,
to share a lot.
he started to like film that, and it gained a lot of audience, and people believed in it, and they started like um digging up that information and everything. And when that happened, they stopped because they knew what will happen if you investigate so much too much. You get your nose under the rug, and yes, that was happened.
So the dark helicopter should be actually the the TikToker like disappearance. Yeah, but I have heard that too, that a lot of these things happens there. And well, to finish with this, I had this reading that it was called Crazy Conspiracy Theories, the one that we discussed before, Flat Earth and global warming. I have to ask you, a lot of people consider that global warming is actually another conspiracy theory. What are your thoughts about
I actually think it's real. Like,
it, the global warming?
think of it.
Hmm.
We also always like, for example, building a lot of pavements, a lot of factories, fast fashion too, because it like pollutes so much. So
Yeah, you don't
that
think about it, but clothing is very polluting.
but yes, but actually all of those things you think it's bad, is polluting, and all, and as a result, it gives to global warming. And the politicians said, "Oh no, that is fake." No, it's not fake. They're just blinding the people to make them think everything is fine, the earth is not going to collapse. But scientists said there is a global warming. It has already been
Why do you
confirmed.
think that the government or like other people like will be interested on lying to people about global warming? I mean, why do you think they will be like saying, no, it's fine, that's an invention? Why do you think that they will have this posture of denying it?
Because they know if they they like say it's true, they will start looking out for how to say it, for who to blame. Factories, and what I said earlier, they
Mm-hmm.
start like they will stop consuming any product that comes from that, even the fast fashion. And we know that it's not reliable for them because if they have to be honest, they will lose a lot of money. And that's what all that matters right now. But come to think of it, if they say global warming is real, and they say yes, it's real, but then they just go back to their business because at the end of the day, nobody cares.
Yeah, and something that is like you write about something, it's like when people decide to say that this is not true, it represents an ideological posture, you know. For example,
Yes,
some countries they have created like an union like the G7 to help the environment. And the country that is not there, guess what? It's the United States.
exactly.
The United States is not, I mean, he's not part of this policy because, as you were saying, it's not a good idea to invest on this, but they want to invest the money in different things. And
Because
China is not even there too,
oh,
because they have a lot of
yes,
industry.
that's because China and United States like they're like the pinnacle of capitalism. And I'm not saying we should be communist because communism doesn't really work too. Does not work either. But I'm
There
saying
is
that
another conspiracy theory.
yes,
Okay. Okay. Yeah, but it's true. I mean, some people have mentioned that this is a lie, but the fact that we have these climate change that are very harsh, you know, for example, in this period of moment in here in Bogota, it's raining a lot. It's very freezing, so this affects also the weather. So it cannot be like lying. I mean, it will be
yes.
very difficult. And the fact that we are saying that we humans are not causing it, it's even worse because we actually part of the issue.
Mm-hmm. We're a part of the issue, and we just say, "Oh no, the earth is dying." Hold on, I'm going to order something from Shane. That's how I feel it. Like, oh no, the earth is dying. We're polluting everything. Never mind. Anyways,
Yeah, it's like that there is no specific consciousness. It's like I know that is bad, but anyway, I will do it because
yes.
yeah, I consider truth about this. And well, I think that we finished for today. That was the thematic of today. We go over it. And well, I hope you can sleep at night or you come up with another conspiracy theory. If you remember something that it could be conspiracy, just please let me know. So it was a pleasure to have you back. I hope to see you more. And well, thank you very much for your participation during this session.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, I hope you rest. Thank you very much for coming.
All right, teacher. Good night. Have a nice
Night,
rest.
rest a lot. Bye bye.
Bye bye.